The biggest update for No Man's Sky of all time just fell out of nowhere. Today, we're looking at a completely different game with the introduction of the No Man's Sky Worlds update, and we're going to cover it all here in the LZ. My fellow travelers, No Man's Sky fans have been eating good for 8 solid years, and the main course just dropped. And it's a two-parter, apparently, because this is just the first part of the massive Worlds update. Just when you thought Hello Games should be this is like slowing down on a game they've been working on for 8 years, after launch, this might be the most significant update since the next update dropped, which was at year 2, and introduced a ton of stuff. Third-person cameras, a complete refresh, multiplayer. Now, of course, here we go with the Worlds update. Going to talk a lot about the marquee aspects of this, but the long and the story, and the long and the short is really down to they went essentially refreshed the entire galaxy. Not a complete reset. This did not affect your base building and things like that. We haven't got a reset in years when it comes to the universes of No Man's Sky, but rather they're essentially just taking a big paintbrush and repainting all of the planets. Your boy here, obviously, predicted that we would never get another procedural generation update ever again, and then Sean Murray and Hello Games are like, hold my beer. But it all makes sense now, because with Light No Fire pretty much on the way, I don't know, any month now, I would say. The game's been in development for 5 years. Sean Murray openly admitted in his deep dive video of this new update that they're really taking a lot of the new tech and new stuff that is coming with Light No Fire and introducing it to No Man's Sky, because they're essentially very, very similar games. So right out of the gate, a complete refresh of all the planets in No Man's Sky. These dramatic new worlds include floating islands and gigantic sky overhauls. They re-overhauled the cloud system. The clouds in the game were pretty lackluster in the first couple of years, and then, of course, I think in the 3rd or 4th year, we finally got some really good-looking clouds, and they went in and redid them again. Sky colors and lighting have changed. Optimization has always been happening with No Man's Sky, but this seems to be one of the biggest optimization updates as of yet, because it has completely redone all of the optimization when it comes to voxel-based procedural generation and things like that. It's pretty incredible. New ship customization. If you remember, the previous update or one of the previous updates introduced actual ship building where you can customize your ships, swap out fuselages and wings and all kinds of crazy stuff. Shadow's got yet again another overhaul, but one of the largest updates or pieces of this update, and it has not stopped impressing me yet, is the new water. Now, of course, at the surface, I know it's a little cringe to be like, the water's pretty in this game, it looks so good. It's kind of a meme, right? But what they went and did is essentially introduced what to me looks like Sea of Thieves quality water. If you played Sea of Thieves has probably the best water rendering tech that I have seen in this industry. And not only is that true, the water is dynamic and changes dynamic. So it could be sitting at a complete rest 1 minute, a storm rolls in, and now you're looking at choppy seas with waves that are the size of buildings. I kid you not, they're huge, they're awesome. Of course, the water colors can change depending on planetary conditions. Atmosphere colors can change. These planets look like brand new. Again, no hyperbole. I'm sitting here looking at this stuff. This is absolutely insane what Hello Games have done. Of course, they've introduced a lot of new planetary life as well. A big, ugly beetle space creature thing. As a matter of fact, the new expedition that's coming along with the Worlds update has introduced pretty much a Starship Troopers type inspiration for multiplayer and combat, which is really awesome. For those who have never played an expedition, it's essentially where it's a new game mode where you start afresh and you start with certain tech, certain ships, and you start on the same planet with other players, just handling mission objectives together. Also, a big aspect of this update is it introduces full wind simulation. So the wind system has been reworked to bring planets to life. So you see blowing and waving trees in the wind, which is brand brand new and actually impressive. Leaves and grass rustle in gentler wind, while whole trees rock and sway in storm. I really love that. Smoke effects and billowing dust, rain, snow, and other environmental effects all go with the same system for wind for an immersive and consistent exploration experience. Also, speaking on the water too, water also got reflections added. So it's not even just that it's reflections, but it's so reflective and refractive off of the water that it looks fantastic. A new combat mech has also been introduced with a flamethrower. It looks pretty cool. Some of the varying types of worlds like toxic planets and frozen planets have gotten overhauls as well. They actually got pretty big overhauls back in the Origins update, which I believe was year 5. We mentioned sky colors before, but really, I want to reiterate it again because there was a charm that No Man's Sky had in its first couple of years, right? With year 1, year 2, with the Pathfinder update and things like that. The colors were astounding. The game had a feeling about it, color-wise and artistically, that had been kind of lost over the years. Seems like Hello Games is finally recognizing that and trying to put a lot of that color palette back in, a lot of the variation in colors, especially when it comes to the sky. I have not seen this much color grading in No Man's Sky in a very long time. They mentioned big engine enhancements. We talked about Proc Gen already. We talked about Shadows already. Lots of improved visuals, increased performance. DSS3 folks, or DLSS3 folks with NVIDIA, you're eating pretty good. Lots of thickness and diversity when it comes to planets. Twitch drops are coming, so if you like to watch creators on Twitch, you'll get a lot of handy-dandy items through there. Boss battles are actually a little bit of a bigger thing now, coming with a more defined hub, particularly with combat HUDs, targetable vulnerabilities, and of course health bars for the various types of boss battles. Lots of new creatures, living buildings, like robotic walking buildings. It's pretty it's pretty neat to look at. You can land on water now. I believe it actually takes a particular ship part. New base parts are also part of it. Lots of quality of life improvements. These are just my general first impressions, but I cannot say enough about what has gone on in the development of No Man's Sky over 8 years. It is crazy that this game... Listen, you could have told me that this update is No Man's Sky 2, and I would have believed you. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating this. That is how big of a change this update is to No Man's Sky. And it's the first part. Like, I can only imagine if this being probably, in my opinion, the largest, probably most significant update the game has gotten in a very long time. I can only imagine what part 2 looks like. Like, maybe they're still working on part 2. Just like, listen, water has also been rumored to be a thing for a very long time. I think for at least 3 years now. That was a leak that happened on 4chan, and it's been anticipated ever since because a lot of the other things that were part of the leak came to fruition over those years. And so the prayer hands were together in hoping that a new water overhaul would come. And it did, and it is absolutely delivering. Now, of course, those of you who are playing, you might see some bugs and things like that. That's par for the course for a new update for No Man's Sky. Just remember, stay patient with those. You're probably also maybe waiting on other platforms. Questions like, is it available on Switch, for example? Some of these other platforms can lag behind, particularly with the Nintendo certification progress being so rigorous like it is. It's usually the one that's the most behind, followed by our Xbox friends. But I think it's available on a majority of platforms now from last that I've checked. So thank you all for joining the LZ, taking a look at this new update. Of course, look for a review and more content here for the No Man's Sky Worlds update coming in the future. So glad to have you, and I will see you later.